Hello, 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 Kerbanaut here. Welcome to something new, something interesting and wonderful. This is going to be the start of a new series, well, technically not a new series, it's a new season, really. It's Season 2 of Let's Actually Play Kerbal Space Program, because Season 1 kind of died, and I was playing it on an older version of KSP, and it was just getting annoying to maintain, and, right. So, basically, I don't want to keep up Season 1 for any longer. So we're moving on to Season 2, because 2 is a bigger number, it's better, and, you know, bigger is always better, or something, I think. Anyway, right, so, we're going to be doing a couple of things different in Season 2. First things first, we are going to have a bit more of a narrative. Season 1 didn't really have a narrative. It was a fun thing, we were just kind of playing around, we were following the career path of the Kerbal Space Program, and it was all fun, but we didn't really have a narrative, and I think that's something I do want to try out. I want to try making a season where we focus more on narrative. Like, you think, where do they get their funding from? Does that maybe mean something for the Kerbals? Do the Kerbals have relationships with other Kerbals? What if they get split up? Does long times in space really affect the mental capacity of Kerbals? You know, all these sorts of things I want to look at and really examine. I think that would be really fun for a season. That's not to say that we're going to be letting go of our roots or stopping with normal KSP gameplay. Of course not. That's going to be what's driving it. But I just want to add in a little bit of flavour to it, and I think that's something I really want to go for. Second of all, is we're going to be using a slightly different mod pack, as it were. I say mod pack, really it's just a bunch of mods that I'm using. It's not a specific set mod pack, but it's going to be things focusing on kind of slightly better visuals and just generally making life easy for me. So things just like fuel switcher and menu stabilizer, and you know, just general very small things, along with some kind of more typical things like Kerbal Engineer and whatnot. I will be using Scatterer, by the way. I'm really looking forward to that. I've tested around with it a wee bit. I wasn't using it before because it was giving me a wee bit of hassle beforehand, but I've tested it out now. I've completely rebuilt the mod kind of pack that I've been using, and everything is working fine. We're going to be using some Eve Clouds with KSPRC. We'll be using that, and it's going to be brilliant. I'm really looking forward to that mod pack. Really look forward to sharing it with you guys, and I really want to hear your feedback on it. I'll be leaving all the mods I'll be using in the description of this video, so if you have come from later videos in this season and want to figure out what mods I'm going to be using, you can just take a peek in this video description. But before I close, I'd like to kind of give you a little bit of build up to the first episode. This is episode 0. I'm going to give you a bit of build up to episode 1. So let's get right into it. There's a bit of a story, a backstory to episode 1. It turns out that the Kenyan prince that gave us money last season wasn't actually a Kenyan prince. Surprise, surprise. And he withdrew all of his cash after his check bounced. And all of our cash, incidentally. So, the program went bust. And with this lack of funding, it went into a nosedive. All the Kerbals had to return to Kerbin. All off-world operations were brought to a halt. Probes were decommissioned, satellites were left to fall slowly back to Kerbin, and computers were all turned off. The space program shut its doors, and its employees went on to tackle, other problems, like, for example, how to make tastier snacks, or how to invent tasty ice cream, vanilla ice cream, mint ice cream, even. And so 80 years passed. 80 whole years went by. And all the Kerbals that had worked on the program beforehand died or went senile. But recently, a signal has been detected from somewhere in the solar system. We don't know where, because we don't have any satellites. But we know it isn't natural. The Kerbal government has only just recovered from the crippling financial crisis that the space program caused 80 years ago, and it is quite reluctant to reopen the space program. However, bowing to public pressure and their natural love for space exploration, they have allowed the space program limited funding, but it comes at a price. All vessels must be reusable. That's right, the space program is going green. And that is going to be the name of this season. going green, because let's be honest, Let's Actually Play Kerbal Space Program Season 2 is quite a mouthful, and I'm never gonna... I really don't want to have to say that every time I open an episode, and you really don't want to have to look at that on, you know, the video title every time you click on it. So, I'm gonna shorten it to going green, because there's two things about this season. One, it's gonna be narrative driven. Two, it's gonna be all about reusability. Inspired by Scott Manley's reusable space program, and kind of driven by that idea of making things that last, making things that you can use over and over again, making recoverable things and whatnot. And so that is an introduction to Season 2 of Let's Actually Play Kerbal Space Program, aka Going Green. I'm really looking forward to sharing it with you guys. I hope you're looking forward to watching it. I will see you in episode 1. Bye bye.